Hi friends, today we are going to discuss about RFC. Remote function call. It's a small topic. So for doing this remote function call, I am taking an example like you can assume that I want to send the data from one mobile to another mobile. In previous days, in these days also we are using this like Bluetooth or share it application. For example, you have taken a picture of your friend and he wants that picture. How we are going to send it? So definitely you both should use this one like one tool, no? So we are sending the image through Bluetooth or else share it. So not only I'm talking about the pictures, like we can share the files also we can share the videos also by using share it and Bluetooth. So for share it we can share it smoother and faster. Bluetooth it will take some time. So this is how the communication which we are using, the communication type is Bluetooth and share it. The same way to send the data from one system to another system in SAP, we are using one mechanism called RFC, right? That is called remote function call, means RFC. So coming to remote function call, we have 4 different types of communication types. Yes, we are sending the data from one system to another system. Then how it will done in back end? In the back end, the data will send in 4 different types in SAP. The first one is synchronous method, and the second one is asynchronous method, and the third one is transactional, and the fourth one is queued. We have 4 different types of RFC communication types. So we are discussing about synchronous and asynchronous. So suppose for example, this is hosted in India and this is hosted in USA, and this is my source system and this is my target system. So for this explaining this remote function call, I am taking example remote client copy. So in source system we have client number called 100, and we have definitely we have host name for this. Suppose for example HA89T, and the instance number is some 39 30, instance number is 30, and the client is 100, and the username is some ram, the password is like this. So this is the information about the client 100, and that means the source system having some A, B, C, D, XYZ user master data, that means user information, and as well as some data is having in source system. So I want to copy the data from source system, that means source system client. I want to copy the data from source system client to target system, called remote client copy. As I told you, the mechanism we are using in to send the data from one mobile to another mobile, we are using this Bluetooth or share it mechanism. As well as here also we definitely use this RFC mechanism in remote client copy. So we know that for doing this remote client copy, all the details, like first we need to log in into the target system only, and we are maintaining the target like source system information in target system. First we are going to hit the T code SM59 in target system, and we need to select the connection type, and then after we need to provide the host name HA 890, and the instance number is 30, client 100, username ram, password some. This is completely about 100 client, and here I am having 200 client, but I am, as you observed or not, so I am maintaining the completely, I am maintaining here source system information. So these two things is same. So after hitting the SM59, so we have to give the source system information to establish the connection between the two systems in remote client copy. So we definitely log in into the target system only, and we need to provide the source system information in target client. So I am logging into the 200 client, and I am communicating, and that means I am establishing the connection with the two systems. That means I am establishing a connection with 100 client. So by giving this host name, instance number, and client number, and username and password, so I am maintaining and everything is fine. Then what is the next step? You know that first we need to test the connection. Test the connection. Then next authorization test. So then we can schedule the, so everything is, that test is done successfully, the authorization test is successfully done. Then we are going to schedule the background job. This is how we are going to do the remote client copy. The data, the like whatever the data 100 client is having, we are going to get into the 200 client. This is what we are doing in remote client copy. And how the data comes to target system, just be giving the connection between the two systems. The source system details we are maintaining in target system. Then which mechanism is which mechanism is done in backend, we don't know that, and we are as we are selecting the communication type synchronous and asynchronous or transactional. No, we are not selecting any communication type, just we are selecting the connection type only. The connection type is ABAP connection. So we have different types of like ABAP and TCP IP and HTTP and also SAP to non-SAP connection types. So mostly for dealing this SAP systems we are selecting only ABAP communication connection type. So this connection type is different and the communication type is different. So we are establish the connection by giving these details in target system. After test connection, after the authorization test, we know that the communication is established successfully. So we can send the data. By scheduling the data after completion of the background job, how 100 clients data is comes to 200 client. So which communication types are involved, we are going to see now. For this I am taking these two. In this example I am discussing about only synchronous method and asynchronous method. As we know that synchronous means will get the acknowledgement for that and asynchronous we won't get the acknowledgement for that. So in this way, which mechanism is going to be done, now we are going to see how it will perform. Without source system permissions, the data is how it comes to 200 client. Without 100 clients permission, how the data comes to 200? You may think like that we are giving the host name information as well as instance number and a client number. So we are having the details of source system and we are giving it. But first this source system will check in synchronous way. In synchronous way, the source system will check. So the client information is right or not, the source system verifies. Then after it will check the host name and instance number is correctly maintained or not, the source system will check. Then after it will check for the client number and username and password is correctly maintained or not, it will check. So you can assume that it will check continuously, it will check in synchronous way. Like the first one is in synchronous way, it will check for client information, you assume like that. So then next it will check for the host name, and then next it will check for instance number, and then next it will check for which client it is copying, and then next and which user is maintaining, which user is called, which username is maintained in the target system. So these many things the source system is verifies one by one. It will check continuously. Suppose it will check first, it will send the request to target system. So then everything is fine with the client, it will get the acknowledgement. So the client is maintained correctly, and then next it will send the request to the target client, the host name is right or not. Then next it will receive the acknowledgement for that, yes, it will maintain the host name correct. And then next it will send the instance number is also right or not. Then next it will send the acknowledgement, yes, it will correctly maintain the instance number. And also which client it is copying, then it will send the request here, and for that, yes, it is maintained correct client information which you are having the 100 client this 100 client information the target client is want. Then next it will check for username and it will send the request to the request for username and password. It is everything is fine or not, it will check. For that it will send the request to the it will send the acknowledgement for that. Yes, it is everything is fine with the username and password. In which method it is verifying the details. All these details will be done in which method? In synchronous communication type. In synchronous communication types, it is checking. It is checking that in synchronous communication type, it is checking, the source system is checking all the verifications is done. Then next comes to the picture asynchronous communication type. So for example, all the verification is done, the synchronous method, all the verification is done with the source system. It will receive the acknowledgement. Then next, it will send the data to the 200 client in asynchronous communication type. Here asynchronous communication type is involved here. So if you maintained anything wrong, the client information, host name, instance number, the client number or username, so if you maintain anything wrong about the source system, you will get error. It will throw definitely error. The client copy is not going to be done. So in the back end, the source system will verifies. That means it will checks. That's why this system is get the acknowledgement. So the source system will receive the acknowledgement for, so the target system is maintained all fine. So we can now you can send the data in asynchronous method. So the source system sends the data to target system in asynchronous method. That means for sending the data, all the verification is done. So no required for acknowledgement. That's why like we can tell that like in synchronous method we'll get the acknowledgement, in asynchronous method we won't get the acknowledgement. That's what we called. Suppose for example, in a you are applying for loan in bank. Which like surety is what? You are putting some land, some office space, some shop, you are showing to the bank officers. So by giving this surety. So okay, fine. What they will do? They will just read the documents. No, they definitely visit your place. they definitely visit the place. Like if you on surety you are giving the land, on surety you are telling the office is located here, the shop is there, I'm maintaining one shop, I'm maintaining one office, I'm having one 2 acre or like a 10 acre land. For that you are putting some surety by giving this. So the bank officers definitely checks the documentation as well as with the primary validation is the documentation. If the documentation is correctly nicely maintained, then they will visit to your place, like land or office or a shop. So if everything the verification is done by the bank officers, then what is the next step? So here what happened is, like already the bank officers already read your documents, the papers which you provided. They already verified everything is fine with the documentation was is fine, and the land, the office or shop is everything is fine with the documentation. So once they verified your documentation and visited your land, visited your place, they release the amount to your bank. After releasing the amount, then they don't require to again verification. The first is verification step is done, then only they release the amount to your account. So you can assume that here what happened is first step is synchronous method and the second one is asynchronous. In the first step, synchronous way, like they checked all your documentations and all, so they get the acknowledgement you have maintained everything is fine with the documentation wise. Then they release the amount to your bank in asynchronous way method. That means they don't require after acknowledgement, like they don't require in asynchronous communication, they don't require. So the same way in SAP, we are sending the data from one system to another system. First it will, in remote client copy, first what happened is in synchronous way, it will check the source system, the source system checks the target system information. So everything is fine with the details. So then we'll send the data to target system in asynchronous method. That's how this RFC works, the synchronous and asynchronous methods. And also we have transactional and queued RFC, and we'll discuss in the next sessions. So thanks for watching. If you have any doubts, you just comment below. Thank you.